You feeling like you need some air, maybe? Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the wonderful world of Minecraft. We are back again here in the Redstone world, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to build this awesome mob spawner. Obviously, this is just the killing machine. The mob spawner is up there, and we'll be looking at that in just a second. But guys, this thing actually works pretty well. I want to apologize, by the way. You might hear some thunder rolling off in the distance. That's because it's storming pretty good here. So this is after about, let me check, about 4 minutes. 3 or 4 minutes of AFK here. And yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Obviously, we are in a redstone world, so there's no other mobs spawning anywhere. Or shouldn't be. Not many of them, at least. So that's this is about the peak efficiency of this thing. But yeah, let's get into how you build this thing. So as you can see, it looks pretty cool. It's kind of got a, I think Domino's pizza boxes look something like this, maybe? I don't know. I don't eat a lot of Domino's, but it has the checker flag looking thing going. And the reason I did that was just so we can see the exact block size a little bit better. And yeah, if we go ahead and go into spectator mode, so game mode 3, we can fly in here and check it out and see exactly what's going on. So it's a pretty simple design. If you guys are here to see the most efficient and best design ever, this is probably not the right one for you. But what this is really good for is just having a little spawner down somewhere close to your base where you keep it loaded all the time when you're in your world, and then it will just slowly get stuff for you. You get and you get basically everything from this one. The spiders are a pain in the butt. They're hard to get rid of, but I do have a little trap down here to get rid of them. As you can see, there's one kind of blocking the way there, but they drown after a while. It's not an ideal situation, but it's about the best that I came up with. Oh, we keep getting into places. And I'll show you guys how to do this little area here after I get done with the main part of this, and that is how to build this thing. So it's 2 layers, and you can build it as wide, or I guess it would be long. Yeah, well, if you look at it this way, you can build it as long as you want to, really. I would recommend going about 10 or 12. This one is 10, actually, and it seems to do very well with just 10. But then you're going to need it to be about 20 blocks wide. I think that's how much it is. Check that. It's going to have to be 24 blocks wide, and I'll show you guys exactly how to build this. Well, actually, first, let me build a cutaway of it, and then we'll be right back. Okay, guys, we are back, and check this thing out. I know it's not the prettiest thing in the world, but I did this. I actually had just done it with regular bricks, and it all looked the same, and you couldn't really tell the difference, like how long each one was. So I thought I'll do it this way, and probably the best way for you guys to do it is just take a screenshot right now. And then just go off of that, because then you can tell exactly how long everything is and where all the blocks go and everything. But yeah, I'm going to walk you through the step-by-step on this a little bit and show you guys exactly how this works by pushing this button. We've got some water in the dropper there, and there you go. So as you can see, the water goes out the right amount, drops down, splits off because there's just one block here. And you want to have a half slab here so that nothing can spawn on there. And make sure the half slab's on the bottom side so nothing can spawn there, because otherwise stuff will spawn in there and then it'll get trapped in there. It can't go anywhere and it will hurt your spawn rates. And the same thing down here, only you need 2 of them because you have to have the water dropping off the block and going forward at the same place. And then it goes forward and drops down into this hole right here, and that's where your collection area is going to be. And then your mobs will go on down to however you decide to kill them. Okay guys, so that is basically the one wide version of this, and to be honest, you could actually do it like this. Actually something I'd thought of, since spiders are such a problem in here, what you could do is do a 1 wide layer like this, and then put a solid wall in between here, like where I've got these barrier blocks right now. And yeah, there you can see there's barrier blocks there. You can put a solid wall there and then put another one of these right beside it. And then the spiders couldn't spawn in there, but you'd still get pretty good efficiency from it. So I actually might end up trying that because the spiders are such a pain here. But I'll show you how I handled them in a little bit, or kind of handled them. But yeah, as you guys can see, this works pretty well. You've got pretty much all the spawning area you would need on 2 layers here, and I wouldn't recommend doing it more than about 10 or 12. If you guys have seen on my single player world, I did a 27 wide one, so it was 27 of these out here. And the problem is, when the water goes down, when it's actually moving, then there's a lot of lag created by that when you have a lot of water doing that. So you end up with a pretty good bit of lag. This thing here doesn't seem to create very much lag. It's small enough that it doesn't do too bad. But once you get much longer than this, then it starts creating lag. So now let's look at what I've got for the timing system here. Obviously these are just the dispensers filled with water. And I brought this one up an extra level. Not exactly sure why, I guess just for looks probably. But then if we go over here and this is my stop that's on here, we can just flip that and turn it off. But then if we look here, this is just a regular Etho hopper clock. It's 2 hoppers facing into each other, a comparator on each side of that, and then those go into blocks with redstone dust on top of them. And then you have a piston, or 2 sticky pistons on top, beside the redstone dust on either side, and a block of redstone in the middle. Now the one thing I did different is I put a observer block on the outside of this. So basically every time it moves, then this is going to send a pulse instead of being on all the time that this redstone block is here. I think that kind of makes sense. It should make sense. Basically what happens is this moves, and we can actually speed it up a little bit just so that you guys can see it a little quicker. There we go. So now it's going to, and that's going to create some lag. Sorry about that, but bear with me for a little bit. So every time that this thing moves, it updates the observer block, sending a pulse into here. So the pulse is going to split here and go over here and activate all these, turning them on. Let's go ahead and, oh, we're getting some lag now. So yeah, you definitely want to keep this thing nice and slow. There we go. We'll let that calm down a little bit. So yeah, the pulse is going to split here. Part of it's going to go through this array of repeaters, and that's going to slow it down. These are all set to 4 ticks. I found, let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 11 of them set up here. That seems to do a pretty good job of getting all the mobs flushed out of the system, because you want the water to go long enough to flush them all out, but not so long that you're hurting spawn rates, really. And then, this is just here so that this redstone doesn't connect with this redstone here. But then this pulse goes out and activates it, turning it on, or turning the water down here. And then these are going to carry the other pulse down through here, give it a little bit of time, and then activate it again, sucking the water back up. So yeah, I think that makes sense. I'm having a hard time explaining it for some reason, but hopefully you guys get the general idea. And yeah, that's about everything with this, really, except for how I decided to kill everything. So yeah, I think you guys should be able to get the general idea from that. And then we go down here and we'll actually look inside here and see what I did in here. So, first of all, one problem with this one here, and let's get some torches. There we go. Get some torches so you guys can see a little better. I would not recommend lighting up the inside of this thing, by the way. You won't get many mob spawning if you do that. I would recommend taking this down 1 block lower, because the problem is it's too easy for mobs when they drop in here to jump back out before they get sucked in there. But if you do it 1 lower, then they can't jump out, so it's going to work out better for you. So that's one thing. I'd have to tear the whole thing out to do that again, so we'll just leave it as is for now. But then you go down here, and we'll block all this stuff off, and I'll kind of recreate it for you guys. So the water comes down here, and you want it to go a few blocks past the edge of the mob farm. And then down here, I've got a sign above the end of the water, and then 2 signs in front of it, just like so on either side, and a row of hoppers right here. And then I've got water. We got some water here. In these two places here. Now what this does, because then there's a wall here with half slabs right here. And let's block this water off up here so we can see what's going on a little better. So basically what this does is it's a drowner for spiders. The spiders are going to get sucked in here, come up here, and because they're wider than a block, they can't crawl up through this space here. So they're going to get stuck right here and end up drowning. I put half slabs here so it's easier for every other creature to get out, because they're going to bob up naturally and land up here. And then this water that's up on top, which is just, I put 2 signs on either side above the hole here, and put some water here and here, and that's going to pick them on up and bring them over and then drop them down your hole. So that's going to work out. Obviously you wouldn't have to put the hoppers down in front there if you don't want to collect string, but if you do, then you can do this and you can collect the string, and you also get a few ink sacs every now and then. So let's turn this back off of peaceful, put it on hard, and there we go. Now we're going to back off a little bit because you want to stay 24 blocks away or farther for these to spawn. And then if we come back here, and I think I turned this off, so nothing's going to happen. Nope, that was bad. There we go. Now, I would recommend putting about 2 stacks of items in here. Something like that. I think that's 2 stacks there. So now if we turn that back on, and then we just let it set for a little bit. It's kind of a cool song playing. Kind of like that. You guys might not be able to hear it very well, I don't know. But anyways, one of these days, it's gonna flip. There we go. And then the water's going to come pouring down. And we should start to see some mobs coming up through here. So if we give it a second. Oh, what did I say about torches? I forgot the torches in there. That's why we're not getting very many this time. But you can see there are some things coming through. Let's go back off a little bit farther and try that one more time. And also, guys, if you watched my single-player Let's Play series, then you know that I built one of these down at basically the bottom of the world, and I didn't have room to put a dropper in it, or any kind of a drop to kill the stuff with. This is definitely what I would recommend, because it's a pain in the butt with witches to try to kill them any other way, basically. Because the witches, if you put them on magma blocks or anything like that, which is what I did, then they end up just sitting there and they drink fire resistance potions and don't die. And they end up blocking everything up. So it's not a very good thing, but this seems to kill witches very well. And as you can see, the spiders are in there drowning, and everything else is shooting through and dropping down to the bottom. So it's not the most efficient way, but as you can see, this is turning out some mobs pretty quick. Obviously, this is, a perfect scenario, I guess, but it's still pretty good. So if we drop down here, then we've just got a row of 3 hoppers into a chest. And as you can see, this thing is filling up really quickly. So I was actually on peaceful for quite a bit of the time that I've been recording this, so that's pretty good. So yeah, guys, I think that's basically everything. I don't think I'm going to do a build of it, because I think you guys can see really well just with this what it looks like. So I think that's, like I said, just take a screenshot of that, and hopefully that should do you guys very well for how to build this thing. Now, one thing that I will say is, if you build this thing anywhere in your world that you're by the surface or something, obviously anytime it gets stormy or anytime that turns night, this thing, the efficiency goes to pot. I mean, it's basically nothing spawns in here if it can spawn anywhere else. So, yeah, that's just bear in mind that this thing is only as efficient as where the location that you've got it in is. So let's go into game mode 3 real quick. And as you guys can see, this is how the spider drowner works. They get stuck in here, they can't go anywhere because the water is pulling them through, and they're going to start taking damage here in a little bit. You feeling like you need some air, maybe? They take a while, so that's something to bear in mind. But yeah, there we go. Start taking damage now. And then he's going to drown and make way for this guy to come in there. Optionally, you can make this longer. So you could, how do I explain it? Basically just make the 2 high water quite a bit longer. And then at the very end, just have 1 block off and have this set up so that the 1 high mobs would drop off. The problem with that is that they could drown before they get there. The 1 high mobs, that is, if they get stuck in there, they could drown. But it shouldn't be too big a problem. And this right here, you want to make sure it's about 30 blocks tall. Any lower than that, and the witches seem to be able to survive it, so that's not good. And yeah, like I said, if you don't have much water around, then you're likely to get some squid spawning in here. So that's pretty cool. And you'll either collect the squid ink from this setup here where you're drowning your spiders, or you will get them from the zombies when they spawn. Will pick up the ink sacs down here and then end up doing it. Okay, guys, I think that's going to be everything. This is probably not the most efficient mob farm, but it's a super easy mob farm that's really, really good for just leaving it close to your base, having it set up somewhere to where it's kind of always loaded a little bit, and then you just kind of keep getting the spawns because, as you can see, this thing will turn out quite a few mobs. So, yeah, and like I said, the spider drowner is optional. I don't know if I would worry about it so much. You could put some lava kind of up here and have them crawl up into the lava. You can't really drop the spiders, I noticed, is the problem. Because they'll go down so far and then they'll end up grabbing to the wall and climbing on up. So it's just kind of a pain in the butt. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know if you guys use this, if you enjoyed it, if I was clear enough on how to do this. I hope I was. It does kind of feel like maybe I was kind of confusing in places, and I apologize if that's the case. But yeah, I think that right there should be about everything you need to understand how this thing works and to make it to your own liking. So make sure you guys check out my single player Let's Play series, because I think I'm going to be making one of these, like I said a little bit ago. They're sandwiched between solid walls, and then that way I don't have to worry about the spiders. I think that'd be pretty cool, so I might work on something like that. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to smash the like button and subscribe if you're new to my channel, and I will see you guys next time.